doing my best. I'm doing enough. I'm doing my best. I'm doing enough. And I am here. And I am here. And I am here. And I am here. And I forgive myself. And I forgive myself. And I forgive.
Hello, this is Stories by Desiree. My name is Desiree. Sorry if the lighting is weird. I do have it above my computer right now. I'm wearing all blue. My favorite color is blue. I just had a good shower. And I also had a good, it was kind of like another date with myself, but not really. It was just a walk and a time to get fresh air today. I did walk to Panera. I did get a bagel, an everything bagel, because that's my favorite, and a drink. And then I also read. I chose not to write at Panera. If you look at one of my other videos, I wrote and got pizza and enjoyed that date with myself at Panera. But this was really a time for like stillness, and I got to just enjoy the sun, take deep breaths, and then also read. And so I'm making this video because one, I just feel very thankful. I'm very thankful for God and the blessings He has been showing me and the patience He has with me. And I am grateful for just being safe, for having that time and that moment to just sit in the sun and read and have a good shower and feel ready to record this video, because this video has been on my mind because I want to discuss how writing is hard and going after your dreams, and specifically I'm talking about my dreams with writing and becoming an author, can be hard and has been hard for me. And I'm also thankful for a talk I had with one of my students. When I say students, I know sometimes you may picture in your head like maybe children, but the students I work with can be teenagers, they can be young adult, or they can be adult. And so the student I talked to is a young adult. She's close to my age. And we had a good conversation about being a one-on-one support with those with learning needs and behavioral needs in the classroom. And I haven't worked in the classroom as a one-on-one support since 2021. But prior, I had worked in the classroom as a one-on-one for 4 years. And I really enjoyed it because I enjoy working with kids. But my point is that we had a good talk about how there needs to just be more availability, accessibility, and understanding for schools, for peers, for the parents, and just in the classroom, and just more support. And it reminded me that I wanted to write children's books about one-on-one support aids in the classroom to bring more awareness to that. Because when I was in the classroom, some peers didn't understand or some of my students' peers didn't understand my role, and they maybe thought I was a teacher for all of them. And sometimes I did help and assist the teacher um, because that may be needed. But I was there for my student and to provide support, to take my student out the classroom when needed, to make sure they were focusing, listening, or to be able to prevent any outbursts or any disruption if I saw that they were getting frustrated or that they were struggling maybe with an assignment or focusing or a task. And so I had wanted to start writing that back in 2019. And here we are 4 years later, and I kind of wrote a draft. Well, okay, I kind of wrote two drafts of two different books that touch on it, but don't touch on the one-on-one support aid aspect. And I was very thankful for my conversation with my student because it reminds me that I'm on the right path. I have the right desires, and now I just need to do it. Which brings me to my main topic of how writing is hard. I have so many story ideas in my head. I have so many notes of stories that I just jotted down random scenes, but I haven't wrote the whole story. And I want these stories to be written, and I want to be able to share them, to finish them, to get beta readers, to get feedback, and then to publish. But as I have said in previous videos, I've been avoiding out of fear. I've been sometimes just distracting myself, and I haven't been writing. And it frustrates me because I think of me when I was younger, and I used to think like only younger me wrote all the time, but I forgot high school me also wrote. Like in high school, I wrote a lot and made time to just dive into a story. And college, yes, it was focused on assignments, but sometimes I did make creative stories that are still in my head to this day that I want to get back to because I know it can be a strong piece and a strong story to tell and share. And what was my point? Oh, now I am not doing that. And I realized that when we had to stay at home and what am I trying to say? When we had to stay at home and we couldn't do many outdoor activities, I started to realize like, wow, it's 2020 and I haven't written in 3 or 4 years because after I graduated college, I went straight into, well, it took me 6 months to find a job, but I went straight into working as a one-on-one support aide. And I had writing kind of in the back of my mind, and maybe I wrote poems here and there, but I was not writing. And it took 2020 for me to realize that. And so now, with all these ideas and with all these left unfinished stories, I'm like now seeing, because I do research of like learning about self-publishing and being inspired and motivated by watching other indie authors on YouTube. And so I'm joining their writing sprints, I'm watching their videos, I'm learning new things to use or new tactics or just like how they talk and share about their book, and I'm getting inspired. But also that's a lot of overwhelming content where I'm watching them write and it's like, why am I not writing? And I see a lot of Instagrammers, but I guess also YouTubers too, talking about like how they're taking a month break or they just disappear, and it's because they took that time to write or to be creative and to get in the zone. And I kind of want that. But then I'm also like, I still want to promote my book and my just promote things, because I'm starting to see what I want to post on Instagram, see what I want to share on YouTube Shorts, and understand what I want to share on YouTube. I'm starting to get in that flow. I have not gotten in the flow for my newsletter yet, but I do have it. I do at least send one newsletter a month. That that was rare, but I'm definitely my goal, at least one newsletter a month. Um but I believe God is telling me, like, I'm glad you see this. Now's the time to dive in, because Abby Emmons announced that she hosts writing retreats for the community in the month of June. And I didn't know that, but another YouTuber had mentioned it, and then Abby just posted her video today about it. And so that was a motivator for me, like, yes, I'm on the right track. I need to write. And then, secondly, Amy McNee, who is Inspired to Write on Instagram, she is talking about relaunch your book, relaunch your art. Don't think that it's only a one and done of launching your work for a week or for a month. Like, no, you can always relaunch your work. It is your art. Celebrate it and promote it in different ways. Remind people about it. And it's very true. And I was thinking of that in order to celebrate the 1 year of my poetry book, Stay at Home Calls for Poetry, because I published it in July 12th, 2022. And so that's coming up. And I had wrote a list of ideas I wanted to do, but I wasn't doing it. And so, because Amy is like celebrating the whole month of June, and she's relaunching one of her books, I believe it's called Regrettably, I'm About to Start Trouble. But if it's not, I'll put it here. Um, I did not read the book yet, but I do want to read one of Amy's books. I don't remember if it's this one or the other one. But my point is, she's reminding me to promote my art, and it feels like a sign from God that's saying, you're going in the right direction. Right, Desiree, right. Um, And so I want to write. And the other part is that a part of why I'm saying writing is hard is because I overwhelm my mind by thinking about how I see my dreams, I guess, or how I see my future and what I want for my stories, how I can see some of my books as a movie, how I can see some of my books in the classroom, how I can see myself reading at schools or my book in libraries, or maybe it's not immediate, but years from now, my books take off and I'm ready for it. But not even that, I'm also just ready to finish more of my books, finish more drafts. And I don't like that it's hard for me right now to do that. I want to go down the list of ideas I have. I'm just going to do some because this won't be all. But like, even yesterday I was watching a video with Cindy. She was doing a review of Verity by Colleen Hoover, and it inspired me to do the plot that kind of, I'm not going to read the book. I don't want to. With Cindy went over it very well in my opinion. But hearing that plot, I was like, I can see a spin-off of doing it, not even a spin-off. I can see myself writing a part of that plot in a different way. And so that, so right then and there, I got another idea, but it connected with an idea that I got when watching the documentary Stutz. It's Jonah Hill and his therapist. Another student of mine had recommended I watch that, and that inspired me to think of a scene of a movie. Well, okay, I picture it as a movie, but it may start off as a book. Or it could be a screenplay. I just gotta figure out writing screenplays. Um, but I thought of a scene from that when watching Stutz. And then now hearing with Cindy give that review, I can see a connection for that book. And so that's an idea. I have an idea for a children's book with a one-on-one. I have an unfinished story of a little girl that wants more attention or love or connection with her parents. And so she tends to act out or be disruptive in school, and her parents aren't seeing the connection. And so I have a story about that that's not finished, that needs another draft. I have my novel DH. There is a standalone series, but I have a spin-off from the friend's perspective. And she was technically the first perspective I had for the book, but because of the direction that DH took, I had to do the main character and the other main character first in their perspective. And now, with that fleshed out and that as a standalone book, I can figure out what her book truly is and her story. Then I have another novel. I call it the Girlhood book, and it's literally following a girl and her friends from like the age of 8 to 18. And it back when it was inspired because of Boyhood. Because Boyhood, I think we follow him from 8 to 18. I'm not sure, but that movie, I have only seen it once in theaters, and it was wonderful because I also went on a date with myself to see that movie. And I'm hoping I would still enjoy it if I watch it again, but I haven't. But it's so ingrained in my mind in a specific way that inspired me to write Girlhood. That's not the title of the book. I guess it could be, but it's not in my head. The title of the book is just what I'm calling it, the Girlhood book. And then I have a short story that was inspired when I tried to do a writing contest based on an art piece. And I didn't win for that, but I still enjoyed that story. And it's about basically a college student who gets an assignment to write about their name. So they can choose in what direction they want to go to, but to write about their name. And she has a complicated relationship with her name because her mom named her this name, and she thinks her mom did it out of anger rather than love. And her mom is no longer in her life now, and so it is a complicated relationship and complicated feelings that gets brought up and gets explored through this assignment. I have a comic book kind of style book that I want to write about with like 5 misfits, or just 5 people that go through hardship and their paths end up crossing, but they're also kind of on the run because people are after them. And I don't have that fully fleshed out, but I figured out more of that story and I really like what it could become. I have many stories, is my point. And I just want to write them. And I was writing before without having a critique group. So why can't I write now? I feel like because I am a part of a children's critique group, and so that does push me a little bit more to at least try to do something before we have a meeting. Like I kind of wrote a draft of a query letter after we met last month, or I guess the beginning of this month, because it's still May. But we meet this week on Thursday, and so now I'm like, okay, I gotta write something because we're gonna meet. And so I kind of want that motivation for my novels, but at the same time, I can just do it for myself. And so this is what I'm working on, writing. I have said in another video, it was kind of my like intro-ish video, that I want to move from writing like 2 days or 3 days a week to writing 5 days a week. And it's no set day because I don't want to put too much pressure on myself. I just want to keep writing and keep moving towards my dreams because that's the goal and that's the thing. I feel like I'm hindering my dreams. And it's also like we have time, but we also don't have time. And no, I don't think about that every second of the day. But I feel like it kind of feels like pressure right now just because of today's society. And then it's also going back to like how I was saying how I'm seeing other indie authors pursue their careers, and it's like they're 3 books in, they're 7 books in. I'm not there yet. And half of that is like reminding myself I'm not there yet, so don't compare. But then the other half is like, that's so much work. That feels like such a distance, and it is. That's fact. But it's also like, how do I remind myself of the baby steps to keep going, to just push myself to get there and to finish my stories. And so it's not like I have an answer, but I do have the want to stop stalling my dreams and stalling my goals. And so that's, I guess, kind of why I'm sharing, because I want you to know you're not alone if you're finding it hard to write or hard to be motivated or hard or feeling like, am I the only one that finds writing hard or finds it like stressful sometimes or finds it overwhelming? You're not the only one. I do too. I do too. But it's also, and then I remind myself the beauty of writing. Like, back when in 2020 or 2021, I had such a thrill reminding myself, like, I'm looking up old 2000s or old 2000s trends or toys, and I'm like, that's my job. I wasn't getting paid at the time, so it's and I'm it wasn't getting paid at the time, so it's not like my job, but it can be and it will be my job to just do research about the decade of my book. And that's fun. That's amazing that I can say that's a part of my job. What else? Just seeing characters come to life and just seeing a plot connect, like, that's so enjoyable. And that's the amazing part of writing, and that's what I wanted to remind myself and to say in this video, that there's joy in writing, there's fun in writing, and I don't want to lose that, and I haven't lost it. It's just getting in that rhythm. And I feel like that's the hard part, because writing is amazing. I was on Diane Marie's live stream, and she was even saying like how it's amazing how when we get in the flow of writing and we're just like letting the story take off, the characters are taking off, and it's just like fun. It's like, okay, yay, I'm getting somewhere, I'm doing something. Or not doing something, but like the stories connecting. And that's the amazing part. Like, we're creating things from our mind and making it a story. And that is amazing as a writer, as a creator, as an artist. That is amazing. And it's a reminder to not forget that. And it's a reminder how stories can show the world, stories can be for entertainment, stories can get your mind off the world, or off our day and age, our world right now, and take you to another world, take you to another mindset. Or not. It can make you feel relatable. It can make you feel a connection. It can make you feel seen. And that's important. And so, yes, I'm happy that I'm feeling motivated to write. I do believe there will be ups and downs with this motivation because that's life, and because it's consistent for there to be ups and downs. Yes, you can be consistent with your work and with your schedule and with your time, but also in life, there are ups and there are downs. That's just life. And so it's kind of preparing myself to, like, how do I keep going when there are the downs, or when it does get hard, or when I do feel that fear again, or want to stall, or want to put it aside, or want to avoid it, or when I see myself getting distracted. And I guess it's kind of like reward myself, because I was doing that for like financial savings, but I see that maybe I need to reward myself when it comes to writing. I think now that it is spring and then now turning into summer, going out more for like writing somewhere else or going on a walk kind of, is it called, rejuvenates me or just refreshes me and makes me feel like excited. And I know when winter comes or fall comes, it'll be a different vibe because I won't be able to walk and go places as much. And I don't have a balcony, and so I don't get to be like outside as much when fall or winter hits, maybe. Um, and so it's a lot of steps to keep myself motivated, but I feel like I am ready again. 2021 into 2022 was my poetry book, excitement for writing, getting into children's books. And now 2023 and onward, I'm hoping is finishing more stories, um, connecting with more people, submitting to more contests, or querying to more companies and places. That would be nice. um, I would be happy with myself and feel grateful. And feel grateful along the journey, because even mistakes you learn from. Even mistakes I will learn from. So yeah, I think I'm gonna stop the video here. I wish us, not luck, I wish us well and patience on our writing journeys. Thank you so much for watching. And don't forget, just write. Write your story and take care.